The bond between a mother and her daughter is one of the most profound and complex human relationships. It is a connection woven from love, expectation, imitation, and sometimes unspoken tension. From the earliest moments of life, a daughter absorbs the emotional landscape of her mother, the warmth, the anxieties, the subtle judgments, and the unspoken lessons. This relationship shapes identity, self-perception, and emotional patterns in ways that ripple across a lifetime. Joy and conflict, admiration and rebellion, intimacy and distance, all coexist within this intricate bond. Understanding the psychology of mother-daughter relationships is not about blame or praise. It is about exploring the emotional currents, developmental influences, and shared experiences that define one of the most formative human connections. The mother-daughter relationship is a tapestry woven from threads of love, influence, and emotional resonance. From the earliest moments, the daughter attunes herself to her mother's moods, gestures, and expressions. She learns the rhythm of her voice, the shape of her gaze, and the unspoken messages that accompany touch, word, and silence. This bond is not merely biological, it is emotional, psychological, and profoundly formative. Recognition begins with observation. A mother's presence or absence shapes the daughter's sense of safety and belonging. Warmth and attentiveness cultivate trust and attachment, creating a secure foundation for exploration of the world. Conversely, inconsistency, emotional distance, or harshness introduces tension, fostering vigilance and subtle self-monitoring in the daughter. Even subtle expressions, a sigh, a fleeting look, or a tone of voice, leave impressions that are internalized and carried into adult relational patterns. The bond is reciprocal, though asymmetrical. Mothers, consciously or unconsciously, project their own hopes, fears, and expectations onto their daughters. The daughter mirrors, internalizes, and interprets these projections, sometimes adopting them as parts of her identity, sometimes resisting them. This dance between influence and autonomy is at the heart of the mother-daughter dynamic, creating a relationship that is both intimate and complex, nurturing and challenging. Emotion is the glue of the bond. Shared laughter, comforting touch, and mutual care reinforce connection, while conflict, disappointment, or unmet expectations create tension. These emotional exchanges are not always explicit, they are woven into everyday life. The way a hand lingers on a shoulder, the choice of words in conversation, the presence or absence of attention during critical moments. Each exchange leaves a subtle imprint, shaping the daughter's understanding of love, empathy, and relational expectation. Patterns of communication reveal the underlying dynamics. Some mothers are verbally expressive, articulating affection and guidance. Others rely on nonverbal cues or modeling behavior. The daughter adapts, learning to navigate emotional landscapes through observation, interpretation, and response. Over time, these patterns become internalized, forming templates for emotional expression, conflict resolution, and self-perception. Recognition also involves noticing tension and divergence. As daughters grow, they develop autonomy and individuality, which can conflict with maternal expectations or desires. Admiration may coexist with rebellion, love with irritation, and dependence with a yearning for independence. These oscillations are natural, reflecting the evolving nature of identity within the relational context. The mother-daughter bond is unique in its duality. It is at once nurturing and instructive, protective and challenging. Recognition is not about judgment, it is about understanding the subtleties of connection, the ways influence is conveyed, internalized, and reflected back. By observing the interplay of emotion, behavior, and expectation, one begins to perceive the depth and nuance of this relationship. Ultimately, recognition is the first step toward awareness. Seeing the bond as a dynamic, evolving system allows both mother and daughter to understand patterns, anticipate challenges, and appreciate the profound intimacy inherent in their connection. It is in this recognition that the relationship begins to reveal its full complexity, the interwoven threads of love, tension, influence, and identity that will continue to shape both lives across time. The mother-daughter relationship begins long before conscious memory. Its roots stretch into infancy, when the daughter first experiences the mother as both a source of sustenance and an emotional anchor. In these early interactions, patterns of attachment and emotional expectation take shape, forming the invisible architecture of trust, security, and self-perception that will influence a lifetime. Attachment style emerges in these formative years. A mother who is consistently present, attuned, and responsive fosters secure attachment. The daughter learns that her needs will be met, that emotion is recognized, and that connection is reliable. This security becomes a foundation for curiosity, resilience, and confidence. Conversely, inconsistency, emotional withdrawal, or harshness may produce anxious or avoidant attachment. The daughter may learn that love is conditional, attention is fleeting, or approval must be earned, lessons that resonate far beyond childhood. Parental modeling teaches more than behavior, it teaches identity. Daughters observe how their mothers navigate emotion, relationships, and self-perception. A mother who handles stress with calm, communicates openly, and expresses empathy teaches the daughter relational skills and emotional literacy. A mother who relies on criticism, comparison, or emotional suppression communicates subtle lessons about self-worth, coping, and the boundaries of acceptable feeling. The daughter internalizes these models, consciously or unconsciously, and they become templates for her own emotional and social development. Early communication patterns also shape understanding. Mothers who verbalize feelings, acknowledge mistakes, and encourage curiosity foster emotional vocabulary and reflective thinking. Those who emphasize rules, expectations, or judgment may cultivate vigilance, self-monitoring, and a tendency toward perfectionism in the daughter. These patterns extend beyond childhood, influencing how the daughter interprets feedback, navigates conflict, and evaluates her own emotional responses. Emotional mirroring is another foundational process. From infancy, daughters absorb the subtle cues of their mother's emotional state, tone, gaze, posture, and expression. These cues teach daughters not only what is felt, but what is permissible to feel and express. A mother's anxiety may become an internalized lens through which the daughter views the world. Her pride or warmth can instill confidence and security. Emotional attunement, or its absence, leaves lasting imprints on self-concept and relational expectation. Family dynamics and culture further influence early experiences. Siblings, extended family, and cultural norms shape expectations of behavior, gender roles, and relational expression. Mothers act both as guides and participants within this broader system, and daughters absorb the intersection of maternal influence with environmental context. Values, beliefs, and relational norms are internalized, forming a complex web that intertwines identity, emotion, and social understanding. Early experiences are not deterministic, yet they provide the lens through which daughters interpret maternal behavior and relational possibility. The roots of admiration, resentment, imitation, or rebellion lie in these formative years. Recognizing these origins is essential to understanding the depth and texture of the mother-daughter bond, illuminating why certain patterns of connection, conflict, and emotional resonance recur throughout life. In exploring origins, we see that mother-daughter relationships are not merely interactions, they are developmental crucibles. They shape perception, identity, and emotional repertoire. Early experiences plant seeds that will later sprout as relational tendencies, emotional habits, and cognitive frameworks, underscoring the enduring influence of maternal presence, responsiveness, and example. The mother-daughter relationship is not simply an emotional bond, it is a complex system of psychological patterns, internalized behaviors, and relational mechanisms. These patterns develop over time, shaped by attachment, identification, and the subtle interplay of influence, expectation, and personal agency. Understanding these mechanisms illuminates how the bond functions, and sometimes falters, throughout life. One central mechanism is identification. Daughters often internalize aspects of their mother's behavior, values, and emotional responses, adopting them as part of their own identity. This can be conscious or unconscious. A daughter may admire her mother's strength and emulate her decisiveness, or she may internalize critical tendencies, anxiety, or self-judgment. Identification is neither inherently positive nor negative. It is the mind's way of learning, adapting, and navigating relational expectations. Mirroring is another key process. From early life, daughters reflect their mother's expressions, moods, and emotional rhythms. This mirroring fosters empathy, emotional attunement, and social intelligence. Over time, it shapes self-perception. A daughter learns how she should feel, express, or respond. When mothers are emotionally available, mirroring supports secure attachment and confidence. When mothers are critical, inconsistent, or emotionally distant, mirroring can produce self-doubt, hypervigilance, or a heightened need for external validation. Projection also shapes the dynamic. Mothers unconsciously project fears, aspirations, or unresolved conflicts onto daughters, who absorb these projections in their own psychological landscape. Similarly, daughters may project expectations or judgments onto their mothers, interpreting maternal behavior through the lens of their own insecurities or desires. Projection creates layers of misunderstanding, tension, and unspoken negotiation that complicate the bond. Patterns of emotional regulation are deeply intertwined with relational mechanisms. Mothers teach daughters, through modeling and interaction, how to manage fear, disappointment, and stress. A mother's ability to tolerate her own emotion while remaining connected influences the daughter's capacity for self-regulation and resilience. Conversely, emotional volatility, withdrawal, or criticism can reinforce anxiety, avoidance, or perfectionistic tendencies in the daughter. Cognitive and behavioral patterns are shaped by these psychological mechanisms. A daughter learns relational scripts: how to approach conflict, express desire, or seek approval. These scripts are reinforced by repetition and emotional consequence, forming mental frameworks that guide future interactions. Over time, daughters develop strategies, some adaptive, some maladaptive, for navigating maternal influence, autonomy, and emotional expression. Intergenerational patterns also play a role. Mothers themselves carry internalized experiences from their own upbringing, creating echoes of behavior that influence the daughter. Emotional habits, expectations, and coping strategies are passed, often unconsciously, across generations. This creates a layered psychological system in which the mother-daughter bond becomes both a site of continuity and potential transformation. Ultimately, these mechanisms illustrate the profound depth of the relationship. It is a system of influence and adaptation, teaching reflection and negotiation. Through identification, mirroring, projection, and emotional modeling, daughters internalize a complex map of relational patterns, self-concept, and expectation. The mother-daughter bond is both a mirror and a mold, shaping identity and guiding behavior in subtle yet enduring ways. Recognition of these mechanisms is the foundation for awareness. By observing how patterns form, how projection and mirroring operate, and how emotional regulation is learned, both mothers and daughters gain insight into their shared dynamics. This understanding becomes essential for navigating conflict, fostering growth, and cultivating a relationship grounded not only in history, but also in conscious, intentional connection. Even the deepest bonds carry tension. The mother-daughter relationship is no exception. Love, admiration, and connection often coexist with conflict, frustration, and unspoken tension. These conflicts are rarely simple. They arise from overlapping expectations, personality differences, and the inevitable push and pull between autonomy and attachment. Conflict often emerges from expectations. Mothers, consciously or unconsciously, hold visions of how daughters should behave, achieve, or relate. Daughters, growing into their own identities, may resist, reinterpret these expectations. The result is friction, a clash between projected ideals and emerging individuality. In these moments, love and tension are inseparable. The desire to guide and protect meets the desire to explore and assert independence. Generational differences contribute to tension as well. Mothers and daughters are shaped by distinct cultural, societal, and historical contexts. Beliefs about gender roles, career, relationships, or emotional expression may diverge, creating misunderstandings. Even subtle differences in values or priorities can provoke friction, as each negotiates the gap between inherited expectation and personal aspiration. Personality clashes intensify the challenge. A mother who is controlling, anxious, or perfectionistic may collide with a daughter who is independent, sensitive, or assertive. Conversely, a mother who struggles with emotional expression may inadvertently frustrate a daughter seeking connection or validation. Conflict is often a reflection not only of differences in behavior, but of deeper emotional needs that remain unarticulated. Unspoken emotional patterns amplify tension. Both mother and daughter carry internalized fears, insecurities, and past experiences into interactions. Resentment, guilt, or unprocessed disappointment may surface subtly through tone, gesture, or avoidance. Misinterpretation is common. A mother's protective concern may be perceived as criticism. A daughter's assertiveness may be perceived as defiance. These unspoken undercurrents create recurring patterns that are difficult to navigate without conscious reflection. Communication styles influence the intensity of conflict. Some relationships are characterized by indirect expression, silence, sarcasm, or avoidance, while others are openly confrontational. Each style has consequences. Unspoken tension festers, while direct confrontation can lead to resolution, but also emotional upheaval. The key lies not in eliminating conflict, but in understanding its origins and expressing it with clarity, empathy, and respect. Conflict has psychological consequences. Daughters may experience anxiety, self-doubt, or guilt when navigating maternal expectations, while mothers may feel frustration, disappointment, or fear of relational loss. Over time, unresolved tension can influence identity formation, emotional regulation, and relational strategies, shaping behavior in both the mother-daughter dyad and broader social interactions. Yet tension is not purely destructive. It is also a mirror, revealing unspoken needs, unaddressed fears, and areas for growth. Through conflict, mother and daughter encounter the boundaries of individuality and connection, learning both about themselves and each other. Awareness of these dynamics allows for reflection, negotiation, and the cultivation of empathy. Ultimately, conflict is an inherent element of the mother-daughter bond. It is a reflection of love intertwined with autonomy, expectation interlaced with individuality, and care shadowed by fear. By recognizing the sources of tension, the interplay of personality, expectation, and unspoken emotional currents, both mother and daughter gain insight into their shared journey, preparing the way for awareness, growth, and a deeper, more resilient connection. Growth within a mother-daughter relationship begins with awareness. The quiet recognition of patterns, unspoken expectations, and emotional responses that have been carried over time. Awareness does not demand immediate change or perfect understanding. It asks only for observation, reflection, and gentle acknowledgement of the dynamics that shape connection and identity. For daughters, growth often begins with noticing the internalized lessons of childhood. Which behaviors, fears, or habits were adopted unconsciously from the mother? Which criticisms were internalized as truth, and which moments of encouragement were absorbed as affirmation? Reflection allows the daughter to differentiate between inherited emotional patterns and her own authentic self, creating space to explore individuality without severing the relational bond. Mothers, too, engage in awareness. Reflection on their own responses, projections, and expectations opens the possibility of conscious choice in interactions. Recognizing how past experiences, cultural norms, or personal anxieties influence behavior allows mothers to respond to daughters with empathy rather than assumption. Awareness fosters patience, understanding, and a willingness to adjust communication and expectation in support of growth rather than control. Mutual awareness encourages dialogue. Conversations that acknowledge patterns of behavior, emotional triggers, or historical tensions can transform conflict into connection. Open reflection allows both mother and daughter to express vulnerability, to communicate not only what is expected but what is felt. In this space, relational tension becomes an opportunity for understanding rather than a source of resentment. Emotional literacy is central to growth. By naming feelings, exploring their origins, and acknowledging their impact, both parties gain clarity. Daughters learn to articulate needs, assert boundaries, and respond to maternal influence with conscious choice rather than reflexive reaction. Mothers learn to recognize and respect emerging autonomy while maintaining warmth, guidance, care. Growth is not linear. Awareness may bring discomfort, guilt, frustration, or sadness, as past misunderstandings or unspoken conflicts are illuminated. Yet discomfort is an essential element of transformation. It signals engagement with the relational reality, the acknowledgement that the bond is both treasured and complex. Each moment of reflection, even if challenging, strengthens the capacity for empathy and nuanced understanding. Importantly, growth honors individuality. Awareness allows both mother and daughter to see each other as distinct yet connected beings. The daughter can pursue autonomy and self-expression without rejecting maternal influence, while the mother can support independence without relinquishing emotional presence. The relationship becomes a balance between closeness and space, guidance and freedom, influence and respect. Through reflection and awareness, past patterns begin to lose their compulsive hold. Old grievances, unspoken tensions, and inherited anxieties are met not with avoidance or repetition, but with insight and conscious choice. Each act of observation, conversation, or empathetic engagement reinforces the possibility of connection rooted in understanding rather than habit or expectation. In the journey of growth, mother and daughter learn that awareness itself is transformative. To observe, reflect, and acknowledge is to open the door to healing, adaptation, and deeper connection. Growth is not a destination, it is a continual process, a rhythm of reflection and engagement that allows both mother and daughter to navigate the complexities of love, identity, and relational evolution with compassion and clarity. Integration is the delicate work of bringing awareness into lived experience. For mother and daughter, It is the process of aligning understanding with action, reflection with communication, and identity with relational connection. Transformation occurs not as sudden revelation, but through gradual, intentional engagement with the patterns, emotions, and histories that define their bond. One aspect of integration is boundary setting. Growth and awareness allow daughters to establish limits while remaining connected. Boundaries are not barriers, they are frameworks for healthy interaction, preserving individuality without severing relational ties. Mothers, in turn, learn to respect autonomy, to offer guidance without control, and to distinguish between protection and intrusion. Through these boundaries, the relationship gains clarity, stability, and mutual respect. Integration also involves emotional reconciliation. Past conflicts, unmet expectations, or misunderstandings are acknowledged without denying love or connection. Both mother and daughter can recognize where tension arose, understand the emotional mechanisms at play, and release lingering resentment or guilt. Reconciliation is rarely perfect, but it softens the patterns of judgment, fear, or projection that may have shaped behavior for years. Empathy becomes a guiding force. By considering each other's perspectives, mothers and daughters can navigate differences with compassion rather than defensiveness. Empathy allows recognition of intention behind behavior, understanding of generational and experiential influences, and appreciation of the other as a distinct yet deeply connected being. It is the bridge between awareness and action, the medium through which growth is lived rather than merely observed. Communication evolves in tandem. Honest, reflective dialogue replaces habitual misunderstanding. Difficult conversations, once avoided or fraught with tension, can be approached with curiosity, openness, and emotional attunement. The mother-daughter relationship transforms from a site of conflict and projection into a space of connection, mutual influence, and shared insight. Integration also embraces imperfection. Neither mother nor daughter is expected to achieve flawless understanding or consistency. Transformation is iterative. Missteps, misunderstandings, and moments of tension remain part of the relational rhythm. The key lies in awareness, reflection, and willingness to repair and engage, allowing growth to coexist with the ongoing complexity of human emotion and interaction. Through integration, patterns that once limited connection, control, projection, avoidance, begin to soften. Emotional resonance deepens, autonomy is respected, and relational presence becomes intentional rather than reactive. Mother and daughter move from habitual dynamics into conscious engagement, creating a bond that is both enduring and evolving, shaped by choice, understanding, and care. Ultimately, transformation is both relational and personal. Daughters gain insight into their own identity, emotional patterns, and responses. Mothers gain perspective on influence, projection, and the evolving nature of connection. Together, they co-create a relationship that balances love with individuality, guidance with freedom, and continuity with change. Integration and transformation reveal the profound resilience of human connection. The mother-daughter bond, once defined by unconscious patterns and inherited tension, becomes a living relationship, responsive, reflective, and rich with the possibility of growth. It is a testament to the enduring capacity of human beings to reconcile history with presence, expectation with authenticity, and love with understanding. The relationship between mother and daughter is a living narrative, unfolding over years, decades, and generations. It is a story written in gestures, words, silences, and shared glances, moments both ordinary and profound. This bond is neither static nor simple. It breathes, shifts, and evolves, carrying the weight of history while offering the possibility of renewal. At its heart is love, complex and multifaceted. It is protective, tender, demanding, and at times unyielding. A mother's care is both a shield and a challenge, guiding yet shaping, offering support while defining expectations. A daughter's love mirrors admiration, imitation, and occasionally rebellion, an intricate dance of closeness and independence, reflection and differentiation. In these rhythms, both discover themselves and each other, learning not only how to give and receive care, but how to witness the other as distinct yet intimately connected. Conflict and tension are woven into the fabric of this bond. They are neither failures nor anomalies, but natural expressions of individual growth and relational complexity. Differences in perspective, personality, and generational experience create friction, yet they also illuminate deeper truth. The boundaries of identity, the echoes of expectation, and the resilience of connection. In navigating tension, mother and daughter encounter the contours of their own humanity, their vulnerabilities, desires, and capacity for understanding. The beauty of this relationship lies in its capacity for transformation. Awareness fosters reflection, reflection invites change. Through dialogue, empathy, and emotional attunement, patterns of projection, control, or avoidance can soften, giving way to intentional presence and mutual respect. Autonomy and connection are no longer opposites but coexist in a delicate balance, allowing both mother and daughter to grow while remaining intertwined. Even silence carries meaning. The quiet gestures of care, a shared smile, a gentle touch, an unspoken understanding, speak volumes about enduring connection. These subtle acts remind both that love is not always measured by words or grand gestures, but by consistency, attention, and the willingness to remain present through the ebbs and flows of life. Time shapes the bond, yet does not define it. As daughters mature and mothers age, roles shift, expectations evolve, and the relationship takes on new forms. Caregiving, guidance, and companionship are renegotiated. Admiration, gratitude, and empathy deepen. The narrative of the bond becomes a continuum of shared history, mutual understanding, and evolving identity, a testament to the enduring resilience and adaptability of human connection. Ultimately, the psychology of mother-daughter relationships is a study in complexity, depth, and transformation. It reveals the ways early experiences shape identity, how emotional patterns influence behavior, and how love intertwines with expectation, autonomy, and reflection. It teaches that tension is natural, growth is ongoing, and connection is cultivated through awareness, empathy, and presence. In the end, the mother-daughter bond is a mirror and a bridge, reflecting history while connecting hearts. It is a story without a final chapter, a relationship that continues to evolve, teaching both to navigate love, individuality, and understanding with grace. In this ongoing journey, both mother and daughter learn that the beauty of connection lies not in perfection, but in recognition, acceptance, and the quiet courage to witness each other fully across time, space, and generations.